Odell Beckham Jr. was livid after the officiating in the Giants loss to the Steelers this past Sunday, and he made it known post-game. Now, ahead of the big NFC East clash with the Cowboys, he addressed the ref situation yet again.
It doesn't surprise me. Like I said, everybody knows what's going on the field. Everybody could see it. Stevie Wonder could see it. It is what it is. You can't do anything about it. There's no point. I don't even know why. I shouldn't even have brought it up because it's always a lose-lose situation, bringing something up. Either you're speaking out on it and now you're trying to defend yourself, or the other way around, you're complaining. So either way it goes, I should have probably never brought it up. It's really irrelevant. Nothing's going to change. No calls are going to be made because of what I say now. So you just got to keep playing. You know what you're going against. It's the Giants versus everybody, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
Max, is it time to tell our boy Odell Beckham Kayate?
Odell, you just said I shouldn't have brought it up. It wasn't going to make any difference anyway. And in the previous breath, called the refs blind. Here's the thing about Odell Beckham. The answer, Molly, is yes, and Stephen A. is yes. He needs to shut up. And I'm not saying take the fuel away from whatever he needs to get himself amped up to play. He's got to be true to himself. But in terms of calling out the refs, shut all the way up. Odell, what are you doing? Stephen A., he's already, and we've been back and forth about this, he's the best receiver in football. And by the way, I think if you put everyone on a lie detector test, they would all say the same thing. Damn it, I hate him, I hate him, I hate him. But yeah, he's the best. I know respect to Julio Jones and Antonio Brown. They're beasts. I get it. But I think Odell is the best. Can you imagine for a second if he shut up and just worried about balling instead of all the other stuff? And I don't just mean as it was a distraction to the team or whatever. He's not getting calls. He didn't get that one. When he asked the referee a question about it, ref told him to get out of his face. Odell, do you think you are going to get more or fewer calls when you call the refs blind? Smarten up. What are you doing? Already the best. If he just quieted down and maybe got a couple of those calls, he'd be even better. I don't know why he continues to do this.
I disagree with you. I don't mind him talking at all. I mind the temper tantrums. He doesn't need to be going to the sidelines and kicking stuff and throwing stuff and knocking the net into his head, and all of that other stuff. He doesn't need to be doing that. But him voicing his concern about unfair treatment, I really don't have a problem with it, Max, and I'll tell you why. Speaking to some folks from the league office over the last few months, one of the things they've religiously talked about is how they view all the calls, a lot of non-calls, and how the officials are critiqued every week, every single week. They go through every single game with a fine-tooth comb. They highlight what is made, they highlight what is missed, and the officials are judged accordingly. And it has some impact as to whether or not they'll be around in the future. So Odell Beckham Jr. bringing attention to this in a controlled way, in a controlled setting as well, I think is helpful. Because what it does is it raises the proverbial eyebrows of league officials who are going to go back to the tapes and view what he's talking about and come to a conclusion moving forward. That's what you have to do here. He doesn't need to be petulant. He doesn't need to be immature. He doesn't need to be creating a scene or anything like that. But sitting in his locker in a very controlled manner and expressing his dismay and concern over being out on that football field when he is specifically highlighting that rules are being broken according to what the NFL wants, what they say is legal and illegal, what they say is cool and not cool. I have no problem with it.
Yeah, but
doesn't bother me.
Yeah, okay, fine. If he was doing it in a smart way, but do you think it's smart to insult the officials? The mature way to do it is say, something like, refs got a really tough job. I think they got that one wrong. I asked about it. I was told to get out of his face. So, I did. I hope going forward, whatever. There's a conciliatory way to express that, a mature way to express it, versus using it as an opening and the fact that, hey, I'm sitting at my locker and they're putting cameras and mics in my face. I'm just answering the question. Using that as an opportunity to take a sophomoric shot at the refs. Sophomoric, not because it expresses anger. Good for you. You should be angry for not getting the calls. But because you're shooting yourself in the foot, it's going to make it harder for you when you call them blind.
Yeah, but you didn't sit up there and talk about what he said. You said he should shut up. He shouldn't say anything. I'm saying to you, you don't insult the officials, and you don't draw temper. You don't perform temper tantrums on the sideline. But there's absolutely nothing wrong in a mature and educated fashion highlighting the mistakes that the officials are making and highlighting how it's putting you in jeopardy.
That's what
he doesn't have to shut up. He just has to be smart about what he says.
What do you think I mean by shut up? That if they ask him a direct question, he says no comment? No, of course you have to answer the question.
Yeah.
But don't insult
about the officials.
refs.
About the officials, that's exactly what I thought you were saying.
No.
Well, about the officials, that's exactly what I thought you were saying.
Do you think they got it right? Everyone knows how to do this. What, do you got to go to a seminar on how to treat the media? Do you think they got it right? Refs got a tough job. I thought that was pass interference on me, and I hope that the league looks at it. Whatever. You can do it in a way that doesn't make it harder for you, because what it shows me in terms of the issue of maturity is that you don't want to postpone gratification, which is really the hallmark of maturity. He feels angry. He wants to express it right then because it feels good to him in the moment, without forethought about how that's going to affect him down the road. That is the definition of immaturity, and I would like him to respond maturely so that this transcendent talent at the position can stop this argument about who's better, him, Antonio Brown, or Julio Jones, and take his rightful place in the hierarchy of at least receivers in the NFL as the number one guy. By the time he's done, I believe we will recognize this as the Odell Beckham Jr. era for receivers, but that's not going to be so clear if he continues to shoot himself in the foot.
Question was whether or not he should shut up. I answered that he shouldn't, and I feel that way because I think the more he talks, the more it highlights what the NFL should do to hone in on these receivers. This dude is a superstar talent. He's legitimately box office. It might behoove the NFL to want to protect him instead of being arrogant enough to think people are going to watch their product anyway.
Hope so. Hope so. I'm a Giants fan. I'd like to see them do well.
You're a Giants fan?
As of this moment, I've played in as many playoff games as Odell Beckham Jr.
I told Odell and Victor Cruz last night at the game. They were at the Knicks game. First of all, New York Knicks, they're lucky to have those guys, because I couldn't believe they both still stayed at the game until its very end. I was shocked because they should have left like everybody else. But I told them, you know what? As much as I would love for them to beat the Cowboys now, I don't mind them losing to the Cowboys now and waiting until the playoffs. But they got to get there.
They're loyal. I appreciate that. I love when it gets personal for you, Max. The passion just really comes out. The steam coming out.